Aroo, friends and enemies! Hello, everyone. We are ready to finish Act 1. Ah, give me just a sec. There we go. Hi, it's Adrian. Once again, your friendly neighborhood DID persecutor. We are rapidly approaching the point where the rest of me previewed to ensure that I wouldn't be... Hi, Gizia. Hello. We're rapidly approaching the point where the rest of me previewed this game to see if I'd be able to handle it without having any splits. Downside of having DID, new alters can split from literally anything. But the rest of me previewed this visual novel for me and got a decent chunk of the way through Act 2. We know there are 3 acts, so I'm trusting the rest of me's decision to allow me to play this game for you all. So, with that, let's restart. As you can see, 3 acts. Fall Down, Downfall, and Doomsday Dreams. We are at Fall Down. We have one more route to go. It looks like we're going to find out more about So Kato, and then we're going to end the chapter. So yeah, let's go back in time to Natsume's funeral and see what we can learn about Suo Kato, my bad. Hope you enjoy it. It's okay if you can't finish it. The content warnings are real. Yeah, no shit. Like, one character commits suicide, one dies in the snow of pure loneliness, one dies as a result of injuries suffered while committing a brutal mass murder. Like, no shit, the content warnings on this game are real. Alright, it looks like I've got some frame drop issues. I'm getting used to those now. So occasionally my frames will be out of sync with what is actually happening on the screen, so I do apologize for that. Natsume died. Alright, let's go ahead and take a seat close to the exit. I'll sit next to you if you don't mind. Not at all. I kept gazing at the flowers far ahead while waiting for the ceremony to begin. Everyone around me muttered prayers in remembrance of Natsume. A hymn played as the coffin was carried forward. Hearing the priest talk, all I could think about was its contents. A while later, the service began in earnest, accompanied by organ music. The attendees stood up and brought flowers to the coffin. A student with darker skin approached it next. I think nothing of it. Black-haired student, mole under his eye? Thinks nothing of it. Roughly you liked it. Yes. It might be rude of me to say this. I don't want you to get upset, but you kind of remind me of him a little bit. I see. Goodbye then. Take care. You too. I knew the truth that many people had lost. In this day and age overflowing with things, yearning for the invisible unknown was more important than ever. I wouldn't forget it. I wouldn't lose any of you. So please, give something back to me. Let me experience an adventure even greater than the last. Turn me into something unlike anything else in this world. Death, huh? This was the first time I'd experienced the death of someone I knew. The funeral was permeated by the scent of mourning, and it felt as if that place alone had been cut away from the city. Will I eventually die too? What did it mean to die? Where did people go when they died? Oh, I felt water touch my nose. I put my hand out and immediately noticed a few raindrops on it. The droplets began to multiply, eventually filling the ground around me. It had begun to rain. Whoa! I used my bag as a makeshift umbrella and hurried off to find shelter from the rain. A simple rainfall was enough to dispel all thoughts of the funeral from my mind. The world would soon end. I didn't even know how much truth there was to it, but people on TV and the news made it out to be a big deal. You could even hear people discussing it in class. Yet none of us actually felt like the world was gonna end. I was certain that the end would happen in the blink of an eye. It would be simple and anticlimactic, like the burst of a soap bubble. Kenkoland presents Mamiya, a shared illusion of the world's end. Sorry about that, folks. My life was a good one, with nothing missing or anything too much. Good morning, Suo. Good morning. I'd always been surrounded by other people. Everyone around me was interesting and quirky. Thanks to them, I could spend every day with a smile. I'm back. Welcome home, Kato. What's for dinner, Mom? Hamburg steak. I know how much you love it. Welcome home, Kato. Wow, you're home early today. My mother was a great cook and my father was a policeman, and both of them were my beloved family. I was really proud of them and hoped to one day become as nice and reliable as them. Kato, we're leaving tomorrow. Are you sure you'll be alright on your own? Mom, I'll be fine. I know how much detergent to use and where we keep the emergency money. I also know the number I need to call to reach you. Come on, Kato's already 15. This would be a good experience for him. My dad looked at me and I responded with a nod. Everyone was nice, and each day was fun. And yet I felt like there was something missing. Like the piece of a puzzle. So I would continue searching for it. It was as though there was an ivory haze over this saturated life. It was comfortable, but the vague outline made me feel like something wasn't right. Part of me felt like I just wanted some excitement. Or maybe I just needed someone special, even if that seemed like a convenient excuse. Have you heard, Suo? Club activities are canceled due to the rain. What? Awesome! We'll get to go home early today. I'm gonna spend my whole day watching TV. I forgot my umbrella. Alright. I rushed through the rain as droplets slid down my cheeks. My eyes focused on a place I usually paid no attention to. It was an empty park, and much like the playground equipment nobody was using. There was a person being attacked by the rain. I hurried over and called out, excuse me? Fattened droplets of rain trickled down the lashes of his closed eyelids. It didn't seem like he'd wake up. I carefully touched his neck to check for a pulse. That was when I noticed him shivering. Oh no! His dark, almost foreign-looking skin was deathly cold to the touch. He'd freeze to death if he stayed here. Right. I took out the towel I'd originally packed to use for club practice and began drying his hair. Please hold on. Let's see. In that moment, his eyes silently opened. His amber gaze bore into me. I found myself gasping. It seemed almost like his pair of amber eyes were the only source of color in the heavy December rain. Snapping back to reality, I tried addressing him, but he slowly closed his eyes. I had a bad feeling about this. Touching his hand, I realized he'd grown even colder. I was the only one who could save him. To make up my mind, I had him lean on my shoulder and started carrying him away as the rain beat down on us. Back home, I made him lie down on the sofa, and I headed for the bathroom. After warming up the water, I hurried back to him with a bath towel. Please wake up. I desperately wiped the cold water off him, hoping this would help him warm up a bit. His eyelids began to tremble as my light pink towel rubbed against his dark, almost cat-like hair. As his breathing intensified, I felt relief wash over me. Are you finally awake? Ugh. The next moment, he quickly pushed my hand away and jumped back. Beyond the curtain of his still wet locks, the young man's amber eyes were like daggers piercing my skin. Where am I? As I took a step forward, still wondering how to answer, I realized there was something off about him. His breathing was unnaturally heavy and ragged. His eyes opened wide. He quickly looked around, and his face became even more pale. Are you okay? I tried to run up to him. The youth grabbed a pair of scissors lying next to our phone and pointed it straight at me. Where am I? My knees trembled like the leaves in the wind. I was all of a sudden paralyzed by fear. Why did I bring this person to my house? The man, still pale as a ghost, raised his voice to a yell, almost as if to drag my inner thoughts into the open. Answer me. Where am I? This is my house. And why am I here? Well, answer me. Clearly desperate, he took a step forward. The scissors were now closer, and I couldn't look away from their sharp edge. You were unconscious in the park. You were soaking wet, so... In the park? Yes. The young man paused to think for a moment, but kept the scissors pointed at me. What did you do to me? Huh? Answer me. Nothing. I carried you here from the park and tried to walk with the towel. That's all. Let's see. You were trying to help me, huh? Huh? As his whisper-like voice perplexed me, the man put the scissors down and went to the entrance. I wanted the bath, so why not, As I called out to him, he collapsed on the spot. When I rushed over and held him, I noticed something red staining my hand. You're bleeding. I called out to him but got no response. The unconscious man was bleeding from his stomach. He must have been ignoring this wound since he was out in that rainy park. I was scared of dealing with someone who would threaten people with scissors, but I'm more scared of throwing a half-dead person into the rain. I'd probably regret it for the rest of my life. I gathered my resolve and carried him in once more. Ugh. You mustn't push yourself. Your wound looks pretty deep as it is. Pressing the towel against his stomach, the young man carefully sat up on the sofa. Is this your doing? I'm sorry for being so meddlesome. I promise it's the last time. I know it might be difficult, but please try not to move, at least until the bleeding stops. When I said that, his tanned fingers slowly touched the towel. He then spent a while just looking at it gradually changing color. Where am I? Huh? At my house. That's not what I meant. I'm asking where this place is. Huh? Actually, I don't remember anything from before I woke up. What do you mean? The young man's tone grew heavy. It was as if he himself had difficulty believing his own words. I can't remember anything. Not where I live, or what I was even doing in the first place. Clutching his head, the man cast his gaze downward. In other words, you have amnesia? I never thought I'd ever say that word. The lanky man furrowed his brow and closed his eyes. To me, it looked like an obvious nod of acknowledgement. The room was completely shrouded in silence. So much so that even the ticking of the clock began to irritate my ears. Can I ask something? Do you remember your name? I still don't know what to call you. Rio. My name is Rio. Rio? The moment I heard that name, the person in front of me gained a clear outline for the first time. It was as if the name itself was making it clear that the amber flash of his gaze, the fingertips touching my towel, they were no longer things to be afraid of. I'm so Kato. If it's okay with you, you can stay here until your memory returns. Huh? Don't you remember what I did earlier? I do, but you were too confused at the time. There's no way I can blame you for that. My parents are currently abroad, so I have many rooms you can use. Rio looked at me like he couldn't believe what he was hearing. That's not what I... But you need help, right? Rio's eyes widened in surprise. I'd appreciate it. His answer came in a low, barely audible voice. Sure thing. Here's where you'll sleep, and the bathroom is right here when you enter the hallway. Once Rio had finished bathing, I lent him some of my clothes. They seemed a touch baggy on him, but at the same time, the look felt to fit him just right. My room's on the second floor. Don't hesitate to call me if you need something. Sure. Good night. Good night. My brain continued working at full throttle even after I climbed into bed. Yeah, they are so cute. But there's a reason this visual novel isn't tagged as a BL, despite the fact that it's an all-male cast, or almost all-male cast. So, yeah, not getting my hopes up for a ship. But my brain shipped Rio and Kato back in Ryo's route. Now we're getting Kato's route, which is making it even more clear that this is an alternate timeline. So, I can't wait to see where they're going with this. Like, the rest of me are chuckling right now, because they kind of know where this is going, but I genuinely have no idea, so this is gonna be fun. Who was Rio, really? Why was he lying there in the rain? Was he involved in some incident? For all I knew, he could have been someone very dangerous. What would my parents say about this if they were here? No, I gotta sleep. Mamiya will get angry at me otherwise, too. Within my sheets, I shook my head to the sides. Losing his memories must have made him really anxious. That said, amnesia, huh? It was so unrealistic, like something out of a drama. With a slight smile on my face, I fell asleep. Ah, look at the time. Mom, why didn't you wake me? Oh, right. Morning. Oh. Good morning. So, what are you gonna do now, Rio? I thawed the frozen rice and ate it with a bit of pollock roe. The tan man looked at me while snacking on some pickled veggies. They're canon in my heart, even if the game isn't BL. That's fair, yeah. I guess I could say that too, yeah. I need to go to school now. Do you think you'll be okay on your own? Rio, who had been calmly chewing his food up until now, suddenly froze up and widened his eyes. You were just gonna leave me here alone? In your house? Huh? You'd prefer to come with me to school? Not so sure if that's a good idea. I just don't get why you'd feel safe leaving a stranger in your house while you're away. I could rob you and stuff. You're not the kind of person to do that, though, right? No idea. You won't do anything of the sort. You won't, right? As I tilted my head with a smile, Rio simply averted his eyes. I'm not planning to, at least. There you have it. Doesn't change the fact you gotta have a better sense of danger. I sent him off while telling him to come back in time for dinner. He went to look for a job, while I went to school like I always did. I might have picked up an amnesiac, but life went on like usual. I had to behave like normal. Good morning, Kato. I heard a voice from beside me and turned toward it with a smile. Morning. Whoa, you were a bit slow to leave today. Walk a bit faster. Let's go. Wow, you're right. Let's go, Mamiya. I made a warm smile. His name was Mamiya. He was a close friend of mine, who also happened to be invisible. It took a while to introduce him, but he was also an important part of my daily life. Did you think that invisible people didn't exist? A few years ago, even I wasn't sure what this was about. But as time passed, I started to put the pieces together. Mamiya wasn't a ghost or anything like that. I couldn't see him, but he was definitely there, and he was someone who understood me. What do you think about the amnesiac? I mean, Rio. The guy who pointed scissors at you? I wouldn't keep him where I live. I see. I guess Mr. Samajima is gonna scold me. Though this does smell like something interesting. You think so too? I'm actually kind of excited. I'm sure this will just be the first of many fun days. Alright, that's it for today's lesson. Thank you very much. Huh? I found Rio sitting near the front gate to my house. You surprised me. What are you doing there? You told me to come back before dinner. And, oops, sorry, hold on, log. And I also told you where I had my keys. You could have just waited for me inside. It's your fault. Huh? You really don't think this through. If you found me inside your house, you'd just end up wondering if I'd moved or taken something. It's not a great feeling to have. Did you wait for me just to give me peace of mind? While dressed so lightly, too? Got a problem with it? How long have you been here? Hell if I know, I don't have a watch. Rio averted his gaze. His ears were beet red. As I grabbed Rio's hand, I noticed that his fingers had turned red from the cold. The touch of his freezing hand made me understand that he genuinely didn't have anywhere else to come but here. Thanks for coming back. Let's hurry inside. I'll get you something nice and warm to drink. Where were you during the day? I walked around town and looked for anything familiar. Did you find any hints for your memories? No, not a thing. I see. Anyway, a bit of food should cheer you up. There's still some of the karage that Mom left for me. Karage? You don't know what karage is? It's a type of fried chicken that... Do you think I'm stupid or something? Though a bit mad, he helped me out, and we began to prepare dinner. He stood in the kitchen like he was used to it, while I didn't have much to do and went into the living room. What are you watching? The TV. What do you think about the end of the world? When the CRT, I saw the words, "The world's end, the truth revealed." While some shady-looking adults were giving their theories, the entertainers were putting on a show. Is the world actually gonna end? Yeah, and it'll happen this year. First time I hear about it. Seriously, but everyone's talking about it. I was about to mention my class, but then I remembered he was an amnesiac. What would you do if the world ended tomorrow? Rio sat down some distance away from me as I waited for his response. For a brief moment, he averted his sharp gaze, then glanced to the side before finally speaking up. Not a thing. Why? Because there's nothing we can do. He looked into the distance with somewhat resigned eyes. I guess I just spend my day like I always do, then go to sleep. I see. His answer was one I didn't expect. Most people would say they'd spend their final day doing something different. Under normal circumstances, you'd have to stay in line and obey the rules of society. So most would say that since that would be gone, they'd do whatever they wanted. That's right, I'd say the disappearance of the sun sounds like the most valid theory. And what would happen then? Would mankind go extinct? Not necessarily. A few hundred individuals should, in theory, possess the antibodies needed to survive such harsh conditions. Antibodies? As humans are all different. Naturally, some of us adapt better to certain environments than others. Only a few hundred survivors. Wow. A video started playing. It showed a boy living on an Earth that had become a dried-up wasteland. I briefly imagined what it'd be like to be that boy. For some reason, I had this feeling that even if my parents, classmates, and all the adults I knew died, I'd still be able to survive. I wonder if tomorrow will really come. Is the world really going to end? There would be no next year then. No one really knows if the sun's going to come up the next day. What would you do if the world ended tomorrow? I'm not sure. It's hard to predict how I'd act. Personally, I couldn't wait for the end to come. I had this completely baseless feeling that it would awaken a special power within me, which would then allow me to save the day. When the time came, when that happens... Here, a special delivery of Hokkaido crabs. I don't even know how to eat crab. Not to worry, they came with instructions. Did you write them yourself, Mr. Samajima? Yes, I even went the extra mile and drew pictures. Carrying a large styrofoam box, the man headed off towards the kitchen. Being one of my father's direct subordinates, Mr. Samajima would come over to our house quite frequently. He'd always been a bit unique, even discounting the fact he was a policeman. So having fun all by yourself? It's a bit lonely. It's a bit lonely, but I think I'll get used to it in no time. I'm still just 15. Don't be afraid to count on me. Thanks, I will. He left immediately after dropping off the crabs. I said what I did because he was a worried adult, but it was fine. After all, I had Mamiya. Kaito, something on your mind? Mamiya? Oh no, I just thought that I may be a bit lonely. As I sat on the bed and hung my head, I felt someone smiling next to me. I looked to the side and saw an empty space that seemed to be giving me a smile. It's a fine, Kaito. Come with me. I can show you whatever dreams you want. So what'll it be tonight? I'm a pretty fun guy, you know. Come on. Come to me. I thrust my right hand into the air and felt a gentle pull on it before my body began to float. Whoa. Don't be afraid. You know this feeling well, don't you? Just remember it. That's all you have to do. Christmas lights, delicious snacks, the many things that you were given, the floaty sensation. Ah. See, there's nothing to be scared of. I opened my eyes and found myself floating through the air, looking down on the city. Wow, whoa, this is amazing. Don't let go of my hand. Take it slow, like you were swimming. I did as told and bent myself forward to fly through the night sky. With Then all my strength was drained from me and my body began to wobble in the air. You seem to have high expectations for that, man. My heart skipped a beat. Are you gonna tell someone? Oh no, I mean, you're the only one who can hear me anyway. That's a relief. I can never keep secrets from you. I've been thinking about him. How could he regain his memories? And you wonder how long this life would last, don't you? Amazing. It's like you're reading my mind. I know everything about you. What do you think I should do? You already know the answer, don't you? This world has no answers. Only desires and actions that can be taken to fulfill them. Kaito, do you know what you want? What I want? You'll know what to do once you figure that out. That sounds difficult. The necessary course of action is always quite simple. It's only the details that make things appear more complicated. Anyway, I think we've talked enough. Good night, Kaito. I'll be waiting for you here in the land of dreams. Even after I'd woken up, I still felt like I was floating in the air. What's so funny? Ah, Rio, how long have you been there? Knocked on your door like a million times. Were you having a good dream? Huh? Well, yeah, kind of. That's so. Then I'll want to hear about it later. As I spoke of my dream, Rio made an expression that was surprisingly gentle. I didn't know why, but it made me a bit bashful. After seeing that dream, I felt like nothing could go wrong. Mamiya had a strange power that seemed to make it possible. What is this? You mean this book? It's been here for as long as I can remember. I recall rereading it multiple times back in elementary school. Rio, I know this book. The protagonist is a prince in the kingdom of night. He travels the world in search of the blue sky because none of his subjects know what it looks like. Did I get it right? Yeah, that's exactly how the story goes. Rio, I guess memories do return after a while. Visibly relieved, Rio smiled in front of me for the very first time. Our life together turned out to be a lot nicer than I had anticipated. I didn't need to pay him any special attention. And I finally had someone to play video games with to boot. He didn't come across as much of a gamer, but despite his initial clumsiness, he desperately strove to improve his play. I had never imagined I'd one day be eating potato chips while having an all-night gaming session with someone. Living with him was tons of fun. I'm back. Hey, you're kinda late today. Whoa, you're covered in soot. What happened? Did you get into a fight? Here. Huh? He awkwardly handed me a bunch of yen bills. I'm paying rent. I found a job yesterday. Can I take a bath first? Of course, but there's really no need for you to pay rent. You can stay here until your memories return and... I just feel like I needed to do something. I'd go crazy otherwise. Oh. Forget it. I felt some warm paper smelling distinctly of croquettes, pressing them against my face. I got these from a street vendor. Figured you might want them since you're running out of food because of me. Anyway, I'm off to take that bath. Jeez. How he actually got a job. He's way more of an adult than me. As I lived with Rio, a certain hope began to fill my heart. Perhaps Rio would come to me to seek my help? Maybe he was the key to some adventure where we'd unravel a great conspiracy. That was why I tried bringing his memories back by taking him to unfamiliar places. All because I was waiting for the arrival of perils yet unknown. Alright. Gonna help you regain your memories. I've been thinking about how best to solve your problem. I'm not sure how much help I will be, but I want to aid you any way I can. I must have reached him because he took a moment to think before saying, the town. I was more concerned with the buildings lining my town than the people living inside them. At least that's how I feel. The town itself? But didn't you say you went through every street with a fine-tooth comb? I did, but I was talking about this town in particular, meaning I probably didn't live in this area, but I still feel a certain connection to it. So with that settled, I'd like to check out the neighboring city. Rio made a brief pause. The fact he couldn't remember a single thing made my heart ache. Got it. I couldn't help but extend my hand to him. Let's go visit the neighboring town. What is this? Huh? It's a lead. I'm asking you why you have something like that. It's for dogs. It'd be bad if I lost you somewhere, right? It used to belong to the dog we keep. Good thing I didn't throw it away. Anyway, please hold on to the other end. So you think I'm less than a dog? Rio, we need to keep going. Shh. Oh, don't pull so hard. But man, it's cold today. The wind is strong. Oh, give me a minute. Would you like to carry that bag for you? You would? Oh, thank you very much. How far should I take it? There's a store behind that corner, or is that too far? Not at all. But yes, to some extent, I think Suo sees Rio as a dog in this timeline. He doesn't in the other one, but in this one, like, he's treating Rio like a pet. Sorry I kept you waiting. Take a look at this, I got us some peaches. Good for you. Oh, definitely, I love peaches. Anyway, let's be on our way. After walking for a while, I heard a cat and turned around. Oh look, there's a cat in that tree. I guess I can't get down? It's pretty high. Not even I can reach it. Rio looked at the peaches I was holding. Suo, let go of the lead. Huh? What? He kicked the base of the tree, grabbed a large branch, and spun around it. Using the lead as a lifeline, he quickly made it to where the cat was. Wow. You're fine now. After taking the cat in his hands, he used the lead he'd hung up to make a safe landing. Here, I got it. He smiled and gave me the black cat. The small creature in my hands was very warm. Even I can help people. Cats, at least. He adopted a stray he saw in the rain. Yep, very much so. Was he somehow competing against the help I got the peaches for? He bashfully scratched his cheek before putting the lead back in his pocket and walking off. I was just staring at him with nothing but awe in my eyes. He's so strong. He might actually be a character in a story. There might be some sort of drama behind his amnesia. The excitement within my chest grew higher as I chased after him. I bought 2 train tickets, and they were more expensive than any of the ones I'd ever bought before. I could barely contain my excitement. It felt like we were embarking on a grand old journey. You're not gonna sit? No, I can't seem to calm down. Rio glanced up at me as I was holding onto the handrail, then directed his gaze outside the window. We were passing one station after another. He watched the passing scenery rush by, but didn't get much of a reaction out of him. Rio hadn't said anything, even as we reached the final stop. It was a factory town. We aimlessly wandered around under a cold winter sky. I didn't even know the name of the city. Neither of us spoke at all, partly due to the chilly weather. It made our lips dry and cracked. Every time I walk through a town, it makes me realize how empty it really is. I suppose it's the sign of the times. Our world might really be ending. I don't genuinely believe that, but I can't help thinking about it. In the end, I might actually be wishing for it. I exhaled and watched my breath slowly dissipate into the air. Rio remained silent for a while and simply stared into the distance. So I was about to turn around and say we should leave when I noticed him parting his lips. I don't think I'd want the world to end, despite how cruel and unfair it can be. Even without any memories. Even if your life turns into a boring, meaningless routine, when you die, it's all over. As he uttered those words, his eyelashes lightly trembled in the wind. I think, if it's really that boring, it might as well come to an end. I want everything in my life to be interesting. You're awfully greedy. You think so? Only those at the top can think that way. It's selfish and arrogant. gust of wind ruffled our hair as it passed by. What value was there to mankind? In a mundane world filled with nothing but hollow despair. I felt like our paltry scuffles had become the laughingstock of some invisible power. Narrowing my eyes in the strong wind, I licked my cracked lips to try and moisten them. I knew it would only make it worse later on. But as long as the immediate feeling of discomfort was gone, I didn't care. In the end, we couldn't find anything that would help us jog Rio's memory. We were just a couple of children, powerless and insignificant. My heart ached seeing Rio so visibly disheartened. Don't worry, I'm sure we'll find something new tomorrow. Thanks. A baseless, irresponsible remark. Still, it was enough for him to try and hide his pained eyes and give me an awkward smile. I turned back towards the familiar road under the east sky. There was nothing in Tokyo. The city we lived in was empty. And so was I. There was absolutely nothing to me. Huh? I woke up not in my bed, but the living room. I must have dozed off on the sofa. I should head back to my room. With uncertain steps, I returned to my room. It's that dream again. Huh? You're not sleeping? Oh, you surprised me. I didn't expect to see you so late. Unable to fall asleep in my room, I went down to the living room. There I found Rio. Here. He handed me a mug. I wanted to drink myself, so I figured I'd also get something for you. The gentle warmth made his outline blur with the darkness. Careful there, it's hot. Tastes pretty good. Faintly sweet aroma spread across my mouth. It's kind of rare for you to not be able to sleep. I do remember dreaming, though. Dreaming? Yeah, I think it was the first dream I had since coming here. What was it about? I don't remember too well. Well, that's how dreams are. Even if you think they're good, when you have to talk about them, you forget everything. That's why I have a dream diary. A dream diary? Yeah, it's a diary in which you write the content of a dream while you still remember it. Though, I'm just using a regular college notebook. I jokingly asked if he wanted to see it, but his response was unexpectedly serious. Tell me about your dreams. Well, I'll tell you the one from 3 days ago. I invited him to my room and sat down on my bed. He opened the notebook and went back to a bit from the newest page. This is a dream where I fight a kaiju. A kaiju? Yes, and the kind that salivates all the time and smells like decay. I had no idea how I could beat something like that. Well, I was thinking it was covering the city in its sludge and people were overcome by fear. And how did it end? I destroyed the tallest building in Roppongi from the bottom up and crushed the kaiju. But when I was celebrating the victory, the sludge coiled around me, and that's when the dream ended. I closed the notebook in an exaggerated manner. Rio looked like he wanted to say something. You have some fun dreams, huh? Yes, I love dreaming. It's so much fun. You never know what's gonna happen, but that makes it exciting. I see. Your dreams sound nice. Rio, could you tell me more of them tomorrow? Tomorrow. That word made me look up. Yeah, of course. Think you can sleep? Huh? I've been watching you during the day and you seem awfully drowsy. I figured you were sleep deprived. Oh. Hopefully I'm just overthinking it, though. I'll wash the cups. Thank you very much. Night. Good night. Huh. Turns out Rio's more of an adult than I am. I see. Suo. Shouldn't you be getting out of bed? Huh, I'm late. Tried waking you up multiple times. No way, oh geez. I've no time to even grab a bite to eat. I gotta get changed in my uniform and leave right now. Days went by without any problem. Good morning, Suo. Did you oversleep again? Yeah. Phew. An unchanging world, saturated with joy and fun. I'm home. Welcome back. Warm, gentle days, void of challenges and conflict. Good night. Night. I thought something would change with him here, but that day never actually came. No good. I can't remember anything. I see. Please don't blame yourself. Why don't we continue the game from where we left off? Sure, okay. And so another uneventful day would go by, without Ryo's memory showing any sign of returning. Oh, welcome back, Kato. Mr. Samajima, what's that? I saw it at the pharmacy and decided to buy it. You can have the rest. But I'm not a child. Use it to play with your friends. Either way, I should be going now. Didn't you have business with me? No, I did not. So Matt climbed into his car, not the usual Mini, and drove off. Man. Soap bubbles really didn't suit him. Soap bubbles? Mamiya, can you blow them for me? By myself? Come on, do it with me. You're such a bully. How do you expect an invisible guy to do this? I want to see them. Can I? You could have said it when Mr. Samajima was here. It was embarrassing to play with bubbles by myself at that age. Fine, just a bit. I blew into the hole in the straw. Countless transparent bubbles gently floated into the evening sky. Starting to enjoy it, I went on to make many more of them. It's like I'm in a dream. Within the bubbles I saw rainbow-colored scenery. We were right next to my house. I was here every day, but this made it seem so much different from usual. I looked into them as they seemed to almost draw me in, and I felt like I saw Mamiya within. Mamiya. When I called out to him, a gust of wind swept over me. The bubbles were sent far into the distance. This reminds me of a song, from nowhere in particular. I heard him humming a nursery rhyme that everyone knew. The lyrics rolled through my head. He was soon done, and the fact I couldn't see his face as he finished filled me with unprecedented sadness. I won't break you, I swear. I didn't know why I said that. However, I had to protect Mamiya at all costs. I was the only one who could. I won't disappear. As long as you feel that way, as long as there's even a single soul in the entire world that continues to think of me, I will not disappear. The scene's so pretty. Yes, it is. I wanted to. If only I could hug you. It's the first time anyone has said that to me. Come closer. Slowly, as if to touch a bubble, I extended my hand to the side. Are you here? Yeah, I am. Can I hug you? Sure. Awkwardly, I hugged the space where he was. There was a distinct chill in the wintry air. I couldn't feel any warmth. But still, I really wanted to hug you. You're warm. Really warm. Is there a sea nearby, Sewell? A sea? Yeah, I think so. It's not that far, I think. Not far, huh? His amber eyes flashed like daggers. I couldn't help but gulp when faced with the sheer intensity of his gaze. I'll go with you. You were thinking of going alone, weren't you? I can't allow you to do that. But you got school to think about. One day won't make a difference. I've never skipped class before, but it's never too late to start either. Please take me with you. Do whatever you want. Oh, I will. The next morning, we left the house with maps in hand. We were searching for the sea, and something else too, something vague and undefined. That said, it'll be quite a walk from here. You sure you'll be okay? Don't underestimate the endurance I built up at work. If anything, I'm worried about you. Come on, I play lacrosse every single day. Take that. Cold gust of winds went past us. It moved her hair, as well as the lead between us. The evening sun was so dazzling it made me close my eyes. Rio's gaze, however, remained unflinching. I retained a subtle distance between the two of us while gently pulling the lead. How much time passed without either of us saying a word? The sand beneath my feet felt almost otherworldly, as if it came from another dimension. The Ashen Sea, having endured several days of rain, continued to rage. It would surge up over and over again. The waves roared. I stared on, thoroughly captivated by the sea, when suddenly my vision blurred for a moment. I felt a splitting headache come on. Unable to stand properly, I fell to my knees. My vision was hazy. I closed my eyes tight and tried to bear it. Huh? What? Next thing I knew, I was in a different place. Where was I? Rio was nowhere to be seen. Gone along with his lead. Rio! As I called out, something grabbed my chin. Nice to meet you, Suo Kato. An unfamiliar voice said my name. He had rough hands and was surrounded by the thick smell of tobacco. I've been wanting to meet you for the longest time. I've even dreamed about it. I forced out a groan through the hand covering my mouth. Don't act like you know Mamiya, you little shit. Mamiya? How did you know that name? The rolled, rough, cold concrete made contact with my cheek. The man looked down at me. Listen well. My brain was shaking in my skull. I couldn't focus my vision, but I could make just one thought. Why? Mamiya belongs to me. Why did this man know Mamiya? Suo! Suo! You okay? Hold on. Relax. Sit up, but take it slow. I slowly lowered myself onto a nearby bench. Could still feel the concrete. The bony thick fingers, the rough adult voice, everything. All of it was like a freezing chill creeping into me. What's wrong? Can't you hear it? Something is screeching. I can't hear a thing. Really? Weird. I can hear it in the distance. It's like the cry of drifting ice. It's so loud. Mamiya. Suo. You're there, aren't you? Who is he to you, Mamiya? Wasn't I the only one who could see you? Suo, what's going on? Answer me. Could it be that you're already talking? And I just can't hear you. Suo, get a grip. Look at me. Past the frantic clamor of people, I looked for the invisible man who would surely be there. Where were you, Mamiya? I needed to hear you. Just why did I feel so alone? Dad, help me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, it's just me. I'm not an adult with the power to help you. A while later, Rio carried me back home, where the sound of ice flows never died down. Oh, Kato. My poor Kato. From that day on, Rio stopped telling me that he wanted to regain his memories. The weathercaster on TV diligently explained the situation. Oh, that typhoon looks crazy. It's rare to see those in December. Windows are rattling pretty hard. It doesn't look like we'll be able to go out today or even tomorrow. The slanted rain was pattering on the branches outside the window. I found myself captivated by the rhythmic movements. To my side, Rio looked like he was about to say something about the stormy sky. Are you planning to go out, Rio? I've got work tomorrow. It's just daily employment, so I don't really have to go, but I'm worried about your health. I'm feeling much better now, thanks to you. Good. He'll probably let you take tomorrow off, so why not just stay home? Just spend the whole day relaxing. Doesn't that sound great? Okay, fine. You're looking forward to it. Great. Well then, have a good night, Rio. Are you really going to be alright by yourself? Come on, what's gotten into you all of a sudden? Don't tell me you're afraid of the typhoon. The question made his expression change. Did the typhoon have something to do with his lost memories? I was kind of joking around, but now I just felt bad. It's fine. I'm not going anywhere. Really? Really? And remember, you'll have to tell me all about your dreams. I will. Good night. Rio returned to his room. The sound of falling rain filled the darkness. Why did I always feel so uneasy during typhoons? As I watched that swirling cloudy sky, I felt like something just might happen. In that deep, deep darkness, I ended up drifting off to sleep, unable to comprehend the nature of those feelings. Dirty noise. Why is the door open? Suo? I had always been expecting a certain something. Suo! Suo! Where are you, Suo? The world was filled with mystery and wonder. Suo! So I believed that one day, too, I would be chosen. Surface of the water. The star-studded sky reflected in it was a sweet, blissful dream. Tomorrow, the day after, the one that followed, as the days came and went, things that truly mattered grew vaguer, hazier. I hoped we could exchange a gentle smile, the way we did when we met in the dream. Good morning, Suo. Good morning. The typhoon sure was something else, huh? Forecast said today would be the same, but look, another cloud in the sky. And here I thought I'd get another day off. I'm glad to see everyone again. It was really noisy, though. My window kept rattling so bad I almost thought it would come off. Me too, I couldn't sleep at all. Phew. Really, I didn't even notice it. You're just too heavy of a sleeper. Love this thing. There. After that, strangely enough, each day became a little easier. Suo, morning. Morning. The early light glimmered as it shone through the classroom. Suo, tackle him. On it. I had a whole lot of people counting on me now. Rio, I'm home. I'll be back. Rio welcomed me home with a smile. Dragged my feet a little, but kept walking along in high spirits. Got a job to become my dream while I still remember it. Rio. Tammy actually looked how you wrote them. You said you enjoyed reading them, so... Suo, you need to stop doing that. Huh? Stop writing down your dreams. What, why? You always look so happy when I tell you about them. Mew Mew. Hello, Dustin. I will. You're losing your ability to tell dreams and reality apart, aren't you? Huh? What are you talking about? Do you believe your dreams have actually happened in real life? So I want you to stop. Look who's talking. You got no memories and no way of telling what's right and what's not. Suo, you should go to a hospital. Why me? You're the one with amnesia. You're just... You don't remember walking all over town last night, do you? What? What are you talking about? Are you sure you didn't just dream all that up? Then, how do you explain those wounds on your legs? And things you keep mumbling to yourself. Huh. not sure who you think you're talking to, but there's no one there. You're wrong. Mamiya's just invisible, which is why others can't see him. It won't break you, I swear. So, I enjoyed hearing about your dreams. To me, dreams only meant one thing: fear. You managed to turn them into a source of entertainment, which is why I liked yours. However, it ceases being entertainment the moment it starts interfering with real life. I have no idea what you're even talking about. Suo. Open your eyes and look at reality, for God's sake. These words touched something inside me. Something very, very important slumbering deep within me. I'll step out for a bit. Mamiya, you're there, aren't you? Mamiya, am I weird? Am I wrong to rely on you? I mean, you're my friend. That's right, I'm your friend, Kato. And to me, you're irreplaceable. You feel the same way about me, don't you? Yeah. But you have no body. It's true. You're invisible. You're the only one who can sense me. Rio said it'd be weird to have a friend like that. It's true, I'm different from most people in the sense I have no body. But it's all a matter of perspective, really. It is? I may not have a body, but my words reach you just fine, do they not? Surely our relationship isn't so fragile that the mere idea of it being weird should affect it. You're right, it's not. You mean a lot to me, Mamiya. I can sense you in my heart. That makes it real. And simply ignore what others say about us. The only thing that matters is what you believe in. You're right. You know, it's kind of weird. I'm starting to feel like nothing that's happened really matters anymore. Oh boy. Despite how much it hurt me. I don't think I want to see Rio for a while. Mr. Samajima, what are you doing here? Okay, so would you mind coming along for a drive? But I have school. Just call in sick, hop in. Mr. Samajima. Geez, you're being awfully forceful. Cut me some slack, I've been really looking forward to this. Here, I'll even put on your favorite tunes. Mr. Samajima reached out and flipped a switch on the dashboard. A second later, an upbeat song started playing from the car. Wow, I'm surprised you're also into this kind of music. The truth is I'm not. I actually just run different thoughts here for the first time. So you even get a card. Driving and upbeat music go hand in hand. Your dad told me that much. By the way, look, I brought some light snacks too, sandwiches and milk. They all have different fillings, so feel free to pick whichever one's your favorite. I'm quite indulged here. I suppose I'll make the most of this time. It's actually been a while since we've gone on a drive. And you're always so full of energy at the start, but ended up dozing off on the way back. I still remember how lonely I felt as I drove through that tunnel with nothing to do but chew gum. Really? I'm sorry about that. Don't be. When you take the wheel, it just sort of comes with the territory. Speaking of which, where are we going exactly? Any requests? You're asking me, Well, it's winter, so it'd be nice to see some snow. I'd like to go up north. As you wish. Off we go then. Cape Soya, the tip of the north. Can't wait. I really wouldn't mind going there. Or even to a place where no one else knows, as long as that's what you wanted. Mr. Samajima. Kato. Our real destination is the hospital. Huh? Are you sick, Mr. Samajima? You're the one who needs to be looked at. What? But I don't even have a fever. I'm pretty sure I'm not injured either. I've heard you were out on the streets in the middle of the storm earlier. And that you weren't quite yourself. That moment my mind went blank. Mr. Samajima knew everything. Knew about Rio living at my house. About the night out in the storm. There's nothing to be scared of. They're just going to take a look at you. No, I don't want to go. Kato. I'm not going. Did you trick me so you could lock me in the car and make it impossible to run? You need to calm down. Stop the car right now. I'm afraid I can't do that. Why? I promise to look after you. I need to make sure you're okay. So you're just doing this for my dad, not me. That's not true. I'm getting out. With those words, I pushed the still speeding car's door wide open. Mr. Samaji's face tensed up like I'd never seen it before. Get to close the door, hurry, this is getting too dangerous. Then stop the car. You'll only get hurt. Then maybe you should stop the car. Unless you want my dad to hear about this. The car gradually slowed down until stopping completely. At that moment I rushed away and ran where I usually did. I believed him. I trusted him. The reason I stepped on the brakes wasn't because of your father. There was no way for me to hear him, though. I was still running while feeling like the entire world had just betrayed me. Why weren't Rio's memories coming back? Why were the days so unchanging? The sound of drifting ice was too loud. I see. It needs to be pushed to the limit, like what happened at the sea. You should make some progress and it's in a tough spot. The basement my dad used as a makeshift storage room was covered in concrete and had a distinctive chilly air to it. I violently pushed him down there. What? Come on now. It's your fault, Rio. You keep saying all these weird things to people. What are you? Where am I? My house, of course. Let me out of here. Rio was acting strange. Rio. Samurai eyes no longer had that intimidating glint to them. The way they were shaking was very familiar. I won't. You may beg all you want. It's your fault, okay? You told Mr. Samajima all those weird things about me. I trusted you, and yet... No. I did it for your sake. Don't say whatever is convenient in this situation. You'll stay here and reflect on what you've done. I addressed Rio in the coldest tone I could muster. I had to remind myself not to relent. It's just for a little bit. Let's try to endure it for now. I locked the door leading to the basement with an audible click. I hope he snaps out of it quickly. You okay, Suo? Huh? You're all fidgety. Did you forget something? No, it's not like that. Still, you do look a lot more lively than usual. Huh? Rio, I brought some food. Only a few hours had passed, but he deteriorated so much it surprised me. My heart ached seeing him like this. Brought you a rice ball, some miso soup, and an omelet. Do you think you can eat? What's with you? Are you sorry for what you've done? Can you finally go back to being your usual self? How am I supposed to do that when I'd never changed to begin with? Just let me out of here already. Why are you like this? One night you opened a door in your sleep. I gotta keep you safe. From what? From yourself. I felt my brain start to cool off. Are you telling me to just not sleep at night? Is that it? You're really not making any sense, Rio. I could say the same about you. Suo, tell me, what are you trying to achieve with all this? Don't act like you don't know. I bent down and looked straight at his face. Show me your hidden powers. Suo, don't play dumb with me. I know everything. You hold the key to the entire world in your hands. That's what made you lose your memories. Suo, what are you even? Come on, admit it. Do it or else. I might find myself disappointed. A long silence ensued. Fine, I'll talk. You know what? I hate this place. It's dark, it's cramped. There's cold concrete everywhere. I remember all this. When I was small. When I brought myself closer to better hear what he was saying, Rio suddenly bit into my fingers. Ow. What the heck was that for? I know you're still not the Rio I know. Some strange force must be controlling you. This has to be it. Get a grip. He shouted in a way I never heard before. It seemed to shake the very room. As I backed away in fear, he silently asked me, Hey, Suo. When are your parents coming back? They're on a 2-week trip abroad and they'll be back soon, huh? You'll soon be safe and I'll be done. I felt like I had to say something back. What do you mean by me being safe? What do you mean by me being safe. Exactly that. You're in an unstable state right now. When strong, reliable adults come back, there won't be any protect. Don't talk like I'm weak. Glared at me with the eyes the color of evening, forcing me to take a step back. I'm still a child, and though I hate to admit it, so am I. I don't have the power to protect you or the memories to help you. It's not true. You're perfect. There's got to be a huge secret buried within your lost memory. Hey. What the hell are you even expecting from me? And I don't mean the nonsense from before. What are you actually after? I want you to be an ideal hero. His expression twisted like he was enduring an intense heartache. You're insanely strong and you put me before anything else. I want to know more about you, to become more like you. Just stop. I want to become a cool hero like you. I said stop. Silence fell upon the basement. I watched as he slowly opened his mouth. I really don't want to say this, but what was he about to say? Will he hurt me even more? Do you realize that you're abnormal? His question made my cheeks turn stiff. I think you mean I'm special, right? I wasn't dense enough to be looked at with those eyes to try to play it off as nothing. He was still glaring at me without saying a word. Is it because I'm special that an amnesiac like you came to me? Is it because I'm special that I rushed out into the storm without realizing it? Because I'm special that I snap out of it already? I have no magic or any other weird powers. Just a guy with amnesia. We're no different, Suo. You're just like me. Huh? You're a spoiled, somewhat childish 15-year-old with a gentle heart. A perfectly ordinary person. Enough, stop it. Listen to me. This world has nothing that you want. Stop it. Stop it. Open your eyes. I don't want to. Stop clinging to fantasy. I really don't want to. You wouldn't get this. Crouched down and covered my eyes with my hands. Suo. His hand touched my shoulder. He was smaller than me, yet his hand felt strangely big. Look at reality. You need to so you can protect yourself. Please promise me that you'll become normal. I couldn't answer. Giving an honest response would be like admitting surrender. Okay. For the longest time, I had been full of expectations. I believed that the world was filled with mystery and wonder, that one day, I too would be chosen. I'll become a normal person. I had hopes for this world, and for myself. I looked away from his eyes. I remembered the bubble-filled scenery in which I hugged Mamiya. As long as I had that, I felt like I wouldn't need anything else. Become a normal person. The kind that neither Mr. Samajima nor you would have to worry about. That was a lie. I didn't care about this boring reality dominated by the body. I can't just give up on myself or this world. That'd be accepting things as they are, and admitting that I was tamed. Am I wrong somehow? Is it wrong for me to discuss all this with you? Maybe I shouldn't talk to you anymore. Answer me, Mamiya. It's okay. It's alright. Everything will be just fine. There's one thing wonderful in this world. It doesn't exist anywhere else, and that is you. You don't have to worry about anything. Really? Yeah. Trust me. Mamiya. I love you. I know. This craving I feel. You understand it, don't you, Mamiya? I do. All too well. So well it hurts. That's why I sometimes fear you. Your unquenchable thirst for the kingdom of the unreal. Isn't that why I'm here? Why I was left to remain? I will fulfill my duty, even if it may cause grief to some. It will be forgotten in no time. Listen, Kato. Thanks for hugging me back there. I mean it. Made me really happy. The airplane surfaced the water, star-studded sky. I hoped we could exchange a gentle smile, the way we did when we met in the dream. That was all I really wanted. Tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, the day after that. As days came and went, things that truly mattered grew vaguer, hazier. Even now, I still yearn for it. Gaining superpowers out of nowhere, getting entangled in a conflict of mind-numbing proportions, embarking on an epic quest to rescue a girl, saving the world from impending doom. I desperately wanted to become someone like that. Where am I? First thing I saw upon waking was the sea. I saw a silhouette far in the sea. Here we are? Before I could reach him, Rio fell to the ground with a grunt. So much blood. I began to feel like the sea. No. Rio was going to die. Rio, don't do this to me. I've got to stop bleeding. Come on, wake up. No. No. What should I do, Mamiya? Mamiya? I knew the truth that many people had lost. He's there, right, Mamiya? Answer me. I wanted a dramatic conclusion. I was even ready to sacrifice myself. No. The true hero. Keita? Amazing Keita. This mom, Dad. Wanted them to smile and to tell me I was special. Rio, don't die. Suo. I remember now. I remember everything. I see. Including where and when this is. And the reason why we cross paths. Stippler. Not being targeted by a shadowy organization. Nor does he hold the keys of the locked path to another dimension. There's no hidden powers either. You and I were. He's just an ordinary person, nothing more. I don't need to hear about those memories. They're worthless to me. Shut up. So, they're not unique and interesting. I have no need for them. Rio collapsed and didn't get up. The vividness of his crimson blood was a sobering sight. Rio, what? Why? What? Man. Yeah, he killed Rio and then... Oh, God. Is this how he dies? Because... like, this ties into where Rio's route starts, where he fell into the ocean and... oh, shit. I suppose it's all good. This is only a dream after all. And they do say it's good luck to kill in a dream. The world would soon end. I didn't know how much truth there was to it. People on TV and the news had made it out to be a big deal. You could even hear people discussing it in class. Yet none of us actually felt like the world was going to end. I was certain that the end would happen in the blink of an eye. It would be simple and anticlimactic, like the burst of a soap bubble. I wouldn't forget it. I wouldn't lose any of you. So please give something back to me. Oh. Turn me into something unlike anything else in the world. I need to wake up. And so, I drifted off to sleep. The night sea groaned softly. Seeing the boy sleep peacefully on its waterline, I tightly clenched my fist. Why, Suo Keita? You weren't supposed to die. Once more. I'll go to the church again. I won't give up. Natsumi died. accidentally triggered Morishika's timeline again. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Natsumi died. Stay put. As I stood in place, I realized most of the people had already left. You can click on the config option to go to the title. Okay. Config option. Oh, okay. Nice. Save for a few stragglers. I can still turn back now. Should I really not talk to any of them? Would I really have no regrets? Don't move from where I am. As I continued standing in place, I was soon left all alone. I suddenly approached the coffin. As my hand gingerly touched the lid, I heard the door behind me open. Pretty sure the funeral's already ended. Oh, I just wanted to see Natsumi's face one last time. His seemingly unfamiliar voice made me squint. My fist trembled with rage. Who are you? I deeply cherished those four, and wanted them to be happy. They should have never met fates like that. And yet, everything went to hell because of Mamiya. I turned around. What are you? The man smiled in lieu of an answer. Putting all my heart and soul into it, I shouted at the man standing near the entrance as loudly as I could. I'll ask again. Come on, answer me. What the hell are you? Ever so slowly, the man before me parted his lips to speak. Mamiya. Oh, this fucking slaps. So close. I'll save them. I'll save all those who came to my funeral, no matter what. I'm expecting great things, Natsume. Next, Downfall. Downfall has been unlocked. You may select it by selecting Restart on the title screen. Well, we've completed Act 1 of 3. Oh, gods. Hey, you said that you got all the way to a decent chunk of the way through Act 2. Please don't. Some of me are wanting to excitedly spoil things for me, but the question I'm getting from the Mies who have previewed this novel for me, the questions I'm getting are, what do you think Mamiya is? I think Mamiya is a hallucination. But the fact that it always takes the same name means it has to have a source. So it might not actually be a person, but somebody must cause it. There has to be a cause. There has to be a reason. Huh. Alright. As tempted as I am to continue... No, I really am tempted. You know what? Let's take a short break and we'll start Act 2. Yeah. Let's do that. Alright, we've taken a quick break. We got some caffeine in us. Let's go ahead. Return to the world of Mamiya. Whoa, this looks even more complicated. Okay, so in Fall Down, we only had 4 roots and an outro. But here in Episode 2, Act 2, we've got 9 chapters. Congrats on Fall Down. Yeah, we've completed Fall Down, now for Downfall. This looks... Reach Chapter 4's ending. Okay, so... we've got some time traveling to do. It looks like we're gonna have to loop back around 4 times. Potentially. Just like we did during the main novel, so... Okay. So the first chapter, we looped into the intro, and we looped from the end of each case to the start of the chapter, back, and then back, and then back, which then triggered the outro. Now it looks like we have... Looks like we have one chapter there, one chapter here, and there. One chapter here, continuing to here. Then we're gonna have to do the loop thing again 4 more times, which will trigger this, which will trigger that, which will automatically trigger each individual chapter to go. Okay, so it's a little bit more complicated. So when they said it was 3 visual novels in one, oh god, they weren't kidding. Alright, here we go. Launching into Downfall in 5, 4, 3, 2, whoa. What is this? I could barely hold the book. My hands trembled as fear and rage bristled through me. What is this? Why must they go through things like this? I mean, they were meant to become happy. I cherished them. They were meant to find happiness, and yet, it's all Mamiya's fault. They all died because of them. I gently placed the book on the desk. The so-called reality that had taken place within its pages was still somewhat difficult for me to accept. What in the world is Mamiya anyway? And what's this story? How did you find your first job, Natsume? Oh? As I stood there with my head hung low, a girl in a librarian uniform called out to me. Judging by the look on your face, I'm assuming the direction of the story was rather difficult to ascertain. You get stories like this every now and then, stories that leave room for many interpretations. Although that is precisely why spectators like you are necessary. Collected as usual, she adjusted her glasses, making them gleam as she gave me a look. It made me painfully aware that this was now my reality. My name was Natsume, the very same man who was being mourned. I recalled dying once. The next thing I knew, I somehow found myself in this place. I must say that I'm surprised. There has never been a case of a person who had memories from before they became a spectator. With a smile that seemed to say, and that's why no one ever remembers their real names, the woman reached for a nearby pot. I watched as a madder-red liquid slowly filled the fancy teacup, making its steam lazily rise into the air. The woman motioned for me to take a sip. As I did, the rich scent of the black tea immediately calmed my nerves. It's also excitingly rare to get your own story as your first job. I was surprised myself. I mean, I never would have imagined that the world I lived in was like this. I mean, inside a book. Well, you see, the people living in there know nothing about the existence of this world. Ironically, they may unearth the ruins of ancient underground cities, yet never find out anything about kingdoms in the sky. I placed my cup into the saucer and slowly looked around. There were bookshelves extending as far as the eye could see. They reached into the sky and the ceiling was so high up, I couldn't actually see where they ended. I felt as though this place was an amalgam of all the libraries of the world. Congratulations, you've been chosen from countless other souls to become a spectator. The first time I'd heard that, I could barely process it. I thought I had died, but then ended up waking up in a place like this. It made me seriously question whether or not this entire situation, including my own death, was nothing more than a strange dream. Having said that, I couldn't even remember how I died. But when I opened that book, it started with my own funeral. I even knew some of the attendees. And now I remembered it again. The tragic fate that befell someone I had cherished from the bottom of my heart. You mustn't lose heart, Miss Librarian. I realize how awfully unfortunate it must be to still retain memories from your past life. I have to admit, our Lord can truly be mischievous at times. Thanks for the consideration. Honestly, though, I don't know if I'm really cut out for this. Just knowing I'd have to witness their deaths all over again, There's hardly a need to worry. I'm certain you'll do a splendid job. The woman placed down her empty cup, and looked me in the eye with a gaze full of confidence. Remember, you have been chosen for a reason. The room you were in a short while ago will serve as your private quarters, and I do believe I've already given you a general explanation of this facility, correct? Yes, thank you very much. I must say, though. Yes? This place is almost like heaven. She'd explained to me how people lived here. From the private rooms of the spectators to the lavish resting area, everything about this place was wonderful. I was especially intrigued by the cafeteria. Although we technically didn't need to eat, we were still supplied with food for recreational purposes. Peace and comfort I had never known in life was easily and readily accessible here. Back when I was alive, I thought the happiest place in the world was under my warm sheets. But this place blew up everything I had known out of the water. Well, here a wealth of wisdom, pleasure, and bliss will be at your fingertips. As one of the chosen, you can have it all. And finally, allow me to introduce you to your work area. Wow. This is the main room where spectators and librarians fulfill their duties. Don't be distracted now and stay close to me. I'm sorry. You needn't be. Make sure to steer clear of the darkness, however. Get too close and you won't be able to come back. Her words sent a chill down my spine. I took another look around as she led me onward and saw books. Books as far as the eye could see. And the path between the bookshelves felt like they could go on forever. A single wrong turn would likely leave you trapped in here forever. How do you reach books that high? It's what we librarians are for. The fact that she actually heard my silly mutter made me blush. Don't hesitate to call us should the need arise. We will always bring you the materials you need for your job. Of course, we will also help if you find yourself lost. Right. Felt like it wouldn't be long until I'd need her help. Did you manage all these? Yes, though since their number keeps growing without end, there are ones even I don't know about. I imagine so. I saw books placed next to each other that seemed almost identical at first glance. It's so strange. It's supposed to be my first time here, yet something about this place feels nostalgic. Oh, but that's only natural. Your humans used to be here before you acquired your bodies. I was? Yes, humans are beings with a creator, and such. As such, they are bound to pass through this world and the heavens. Yet in order to manifest as beings of flesh, they must also pass the river of oblivion. That's why the people down below don't remember their existence of this world. I see. That would explain this odd feeling of nostalgia. Normally, upon becoming spectators, people pass the river of oblivion once more. It's quite peculiar that you still retain your memories, but I suppose there are exceptions in every world. Chuckling, I touched the spine of a book at eye level. So this book chronicles the entire life of a person from human history? Indeed it does. It contains all the established historical truths. Historical truths, despite the sheer amount of books in here. I had learned my fair share of world history as a student, but even so, this amount seemed excessive. There exists more than one world, you see. You might not know of them, but there are as many as, if not more than, there are stars in the sky. You mean parallel worlds? She took one of the books and gave me a smile. In some worlds, certain wars never came to pass. Others are inhabited by radically different types of animals. Many of these books can't even be imagined by someone from your world. You're saying there are even worlds like the ones we see in fantasy novels and such? Indeed, although that fact alone holds little significance in your case, considering they're not the worlds you'll be responsible for. Each world has a slightly different histories and cultures, but the volume is so immense that we were unable to record everything that happens. I'm assuming that's where us spectators come into the picture, right? She turned around to face me. You look exhausted. Why not have a seat? I've already explained your job as a spectator, but I imagine the repeated observations gave you some new questions, so I will explain it all over again. Please do. People tend to dislike my explanations due to being too verbose. So instead, I prepared an easy-to-digest song. Oh, fuck! Am I gonna have to speed read this? Shit. I have dyslexia, folks. The fact that I trip up as often as I do is just the fact that well, okay. You did? You'll be able to check it again in writing, so do take your time and listen. So allow me to explain a spectator's job. This world has many possibilities that will probably be considered. You should know that this is now what... You should know that... God damn it. Let's compare stories you already spectated in the... the next thing... oh, God, fuck. Yeah. Yeah. What is this cheerful piano music? Okay, okay. It's hilarious to watch streamers try to do it. It's impossible. Okay. I will have her repeat the song if that's an option, and I'm gonna try again. Was it too fast? I believe you should now be able to check everything again in writing, but should I sing again? Yes. Please do. Very well, listen carefully. So allow me to explain a spectator's job. Do you understand it now? Do you wish to hear it again? No, I think I got it. Thank you very much. How? Looking forward to the fruits of your labor. Hold on. Ugh. Thank you, backlog! Oh, God. Oh, you skipped it. Shit. So allow me to explain a spectator's job. This world has many possibilities that will be considered. You should know this by now, having observed the world a few times. There are countless potential what-ifs, I see. Let us now compare stories that have already been spectated and the story that you were assigned to. The texts of these stories, without any historical truths set, are short and only get the gist of it. The text you are assigned to is no more than a rough outline at present, akin to prophecies and fortunes. It is the bare minimum truth that our Lord has set. That is why the interpretable margin changes each time you read it. The spectator's job is to record the truth in detail and ultimately decide it. So there's hope, isn't there? They may have died, but if we don't give up, there's surely a chance they'll find happiness, right? Listen, Mr. Natsumi, the story you have spectated unfolded through subjectivity. To the people living in that world, life is entirely subjective. Spectators, however, are objective, logically, statistically, and astronomically. The stories you have seen so far were nothing more than singular possibilities. In a way, they are like lines in a draft. You draw many lines first, then use a non-erasable pen to select the one meant for the finished work. Now you have to reread the story again and again. You more or less know its lines, right? The most common possibility is the one best suited to be the truth, but that's death. So you're saying that possibility is the most worthy of being the truth. And I have to set it as such? Indeed. Is there some other way to save them? I want to set their truths after knowing that. I see you're very diligent and careful, Mr. Natsumi, or are you like this because you have your memories? Even the newest ones take to setting truths after spectating just a few times. You are quite the slow-paced worker, I see. Then if we rewrite the what-ifs, that would be interference. Interference. Interference is not part of a spectator's job. In fact, mere spectators are forbidden from doing it. It is heresy against our Lord. The mere thought is disgusting. So there, Mr. Natsumi. Do you understand? Let me say it again. You are to spectate this book and decide its truths. You are not allowed to interfere in any way. You are to follow the lines upon lines of possibilities, and decide the truths to write the most optimal story. That is the job of a spectator like you. Okay. That's settled. I'm looking forward to the fruits of your labor. I wish I had more confidence, though. The idea that it's my job to decide historical truths and how the stories will go, well, it's a bit too much. Why was I even picked to become this spectator, anyway? Gotta say, this place sure is big. Unaware that I was lost, I continued talking to myself. What does it mean to observe anyway? Will I have to keep repeating all that? I don't want to see any of them die ever again. If only I could save them. Whoops. You're lucky no one else heard that. You might have been seen as a dangerous element and promptly eliminated. Who's there? A mischievous, muffled voice rang out from the darkness. As I looked for its source, I found a door that seemed to have just appeared out of thin air. It didn't fit the surroundings at all. Are you behind this? As I brought my ear closer to the door, I heard a man's voice. It sounded strange, both standoffish and reverberating. You're the new spectator, aren't you? Yes, a pleasure to meet you. Yeah, sure. You should be really careful with what you say, though. They say you've been chosen, but spectators are easily replaceable. Though, if you want to know what happens to dead people when they die again, be my guest and do whatever the hell you want. What the man had told me from beyond the door sent a chill down my spine. My instincts told me that the scenario he described would be a fate worse than death. Who are you? Didn't the librarian tell you? Spectators got no names, just like you, right? But I do have a name. It's Natsume. Oh, really? What were you influenced by? I have memories from before I came here. Now that's something. His tone had changed. I couldn't see him, but he sounded right in a way that was different from the librarian. Which was why I chose to tell him something I hadn't told her. Actually, I can't say that I approve of the stories I saw during my observation. That's so. They were my friends, and yet they were supposed to lead happy lives. But all their stories ended with their deaths caused by some incomprehensible being called Mamiya. That shouldn't be allowed to happen. Shouldn't be allowed, you say. Do you know something? No, I don't know anything about whatever you're in charge of. I just thought that spectators are such a diverse bunch. Are you a spectator yourself? Who knows? What should I do? I would do anything to make them happy, but spoken word has power, you know. Are you serious? I sure am. The person behind the door felt silent for a good moment. I simply continued staring at the heavy door, waiting for him to resume. So do you want to know how to interfere? Interfere. Didn't the librarian give you an explanation? Well, she did in her own eccentric way. But she also emphasized that interference is forbidden, that we mustn't get involved. There are dogs who only care about efficiency, don't mind them. That said, ordinary spectators wouldn't bother with it, simply because they can't be bothered. But you, tragically, are no ordinary spectator. Yes, I have my memories, I recall the time I spent with them. So you want to ensure they end up happy? Obviously, there's always a chance that you'll fail and nothing will change. Your safety isn't guaranteed either. You might end up dying yourself while in the story. But I'm already dead. If you're gonna interfere, you won't just be watching stuff unfold from way on high. You'd become a character in the story, and you'd obviously be able to die. So what'll it be? Will you keep on observing as your friends die, or risk your own life and try and change the ending? The choice is yours. Life in this place does sound tempting. There wouldn't be a single dull moment. But if it comes at the cost of their happiness, I don't need it. For that, I wouldn't even mind dying. Do you have any idea what you're saying? You don't have to die anymore. Yet you're still willing to take the risk. Well, I'm already dead. But that means precious little in this world. You made it here, didn't you? Still doesn't... I don't care how many times I'll have to die. I just want to give them the endings they deserve. Alright. There was a book with a black cover before me. I took a deep breath as I looked at it. I would interfere with the story. The mysterious person behind the door told me I could do it. But I had no idea if I could even trust him. Deciding the truths, huh? I gently ran my fingers along the cover. This brief written work contained countless possibilities, and I had to pick one of them. In that case, let it be a different possibility than the ones before. I pleaded before reading the first line. Tokyo, during the year in which the world was prophesied to end. Mamiya died. What the fuck? Mamiya died? Okay. Okay. So Mamiya can be killed. Mamiya can die. That is a thing. That is a thing? Holy fuck. Holy shit. Mamiya can die. So Mamiya is actually a character in the story then, if Mamiya can die. Huh. Oh gods. Just... Okay. So I actually kind of understand the many worlds interpretation of how the library is supposed to work. Not necessarily the many worlds interpretation of time and such, but I understand how it is described here in this novel. Like, I understand it pretty well. So I know the world building. I've gotten a clear grasp. There we go. I've got my voice back. I've got a clear grasp of the metafiction that's occurring here. And yet suddenly the story changed. Instead of saying Natsumi died, it has said Mamiya died. I've been going for a solid 2 hours now with only one break. I might come back to this tonight or tomorrow. Probably tonight. But I need to actually go get something to eat because there's... I need to let this sit. So I'm gonna save. Downfall Chapter 1, Tokyo, End of the World. Mamiya died. Right. And given what I was taught by those of you in chat, return to the title. Alright. We will come back to this later. So let me see if there's anyone currently available for a raid from my raid list. Capybara Dragon's playing Minecraft. That should be a good way for y'all to decompress. Let me go ahead and tune in to Capybara Dragon so I can outwoo with them. They are an amazing creator. Go and give them some love. Starting raid in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1...